we're going to be doing is we're going to be practicing calculating HST on products. What we need to practice are the following. We need percents. So we need a quick refresher on percents. We need a quick refresher on rounding to the nearest dollar, which you will do homework for. And you're going to be adding by hand in all of that. Now what we're going to do for adding by hand, we're going to go and combine that with the stuff in percents. Now let's talk about percents. Now don't hesitate to pause the video anytime you get to a certain point where you want to copy a note. So percents. Percents means something out of 100. So for example, if I have 35%, think of the zeros on the percent as the zeros in the 100, and the 1 and this slash really mean 1. So this means 35 out of 100. So in order to represent 35 out of 100, we literally say, okay, that's equal to, ready, 35 divided by 100. And then all you do is you either move the decimal over 2 spots, you either move the decimal that is understood to be at 35 over 2 spots, or, so for example, you'd put your decimal here, you put your point here, and then you would move the decimal over 2 spots, and then you would get the following answer. 0.35, or you'd use your calculator to do this to get 0.35. Either way, we can do that. So I tend to go and do 35 divided by 100 and then do the calculation. You guys will probably use the moving the decimal over twice. So for example, turn each percent into a math sentence and then a decimal. So we're going to have these 3 problems here, and what I want you to do is I want you to try this. So let's say I have 20%. So I'll do the first one, and then you guys do the second one. Okay? So let's say I have 20%. So 20% really means 20 divided by 100. So we turned it into a math sentence. Okay? So 20 divided by 100, and then we get 20 divided by 100. Now I could move the decimal over twice, or punch this into my calculator. So let me punch that into my calculator right away. And we get 0.20. Now you try this one and this one. Pause the video and then I'll show you the solution. So 0.13 is 13 divided by 100, which gives us 0.13 when we punch that in the calculator. Now let's take a look at 8%. So here's what we do. We take 8 divided by 100, and then we punch that in our calculator and we get 0.08. And we're done. So why would we do this? We would do this because a lot of the things that we pay for involve a thing called tax. We also do a thing called discount, but we'll talk about that later. So right now, what I want you to do is take a look at this peculiar problem. We're going to take a look at a thing called the percent of a number. So we're just trying to refresh your memory on how to calculate these things. So percent of a number means this thing. We have a special word. Anytime you see the word of, what we're talking about means we're timesing something. Now, we figured out how to change a percent into a decimal. Now, how do we do that? How do we do that with certain problems? So let's take a look at this. So our first problem here is this. 20% of 200. In order to change this problem into a math sentence, we have to take a look at the 20%. Now, we're going to do these in different colors. So in this one, 20% is equal to, if you think about it, it's going to be, we're going to change that into a math sentence. So we're going to go 20 divided by 100. So that is what that means. So now, if you take a look at the of, what we said was of meant times. And the 200 don't have to change it because it's already in a math type sentence. So we just write 200 here. So all we have to do is to figure out 20% of 200 is equal to 20 divided by 100 times 200. Punching that into your calculator exactly as you see there, you're going to get the following answer, 40. The only problem here is every time you do these problems, you're always going to have your calculator right beside you. You write out the math sentence, then you punch in the numbers to get your final answer. So now let's do one more practice together, then you're going to try on your own. So now let's take a look at this next problem. 6% of 30. Take a moment, write that down, then we'll do this problem. Now remember, we have to turn this into a math sentence. So this part here is basically just 6 divided by 100. The of always means times, and then the 30 is already as a number, so we just bring it down. And then all we're going to do is calculate our final solution. 6 divided by 100 times 30, which gives us 1.8. So now what I want you to do is I want you to try these two problems, and then I'm going to give you some practice online to do these problems, okay? Pause the video and then do each problem, and then I'll put the solutions up. So this is what you should get for the first one. And now let's do this next one. Now this problem is going to definitely be peculiar because most of the time we're always dealing with money. What I want you to do is I want you to round to exactly 2 decimal places. So just 2 spaces to the right of the decimal. Well, you would have normally gotten this when we used to do our rounding before the break. 137.4087. Now, here's the deal. When we're looking at this, we're always looking to round to the last 2 decimal places. So the only thing that we have to look at is the next number to the right of those 2 spaces. If that number is greater than 5, we need to rewrite this problem as 137.41. So remember, for rounding, if the number to the right is greater than 5, increase our decimal by 1. By 1 number. So in this case, what we did was we looked at 40, we found the 8 was over 5 like we expected. The 8 is over 5, so we took 40 and turned it into 41. If it was less than that, then guess what? We would leave it as 40. Now, what I'd like you to do for the first part of this lesson is I would like you to take a moment and I would like you to do the percent worksheet that I provided online for you. and it's just a practice worksheet. Now at the end, what I need you to do is I need you to email me at my school email address. And my school email address, once you've completed that practice that we've done online for this stuff here, I want you to email me at jason.simpson at ed.amdsb.ca. So remember, when you go and do these, you have to go and do your practice and then send me a copy of the results for your lesson. If you have any questions about that, please email me. Once you've done that, you can do the second half of the lesson, which will be due on Wednesday. Now, that second half of the lesson will be done as a video after this lesson so that we can get on to our practice problems for the day.